Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the first episode of Majo no Tabitabi. And I guess this is an anime about like a witch that goes on a journey. That's kind of what I gathered from the title. I don't know too much about it because I generally avoid reading synopsises to have that maximum blindness going into my blind reactions. So, but it seems to be a fairly popular show, you know, amongst people that watch, you know, the more chill kind of shows, you know. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with this, but I imagine it'll be a pretty relaxed magical fantasy show about a witch. That's kind of where my expectations are, so we'll see if that's at all accurate. So let's just jump on in. Although I do kind of have to let you know how I do things reaction format wise. I did not show the anime footage in the video for copyright reasons. I will show you subtitles down there and a timer so you can grab your own copy of the show and just kind of sync it up to my reaction. That's kind of how I do things to keep everything alive and well. So 3, 2, 1, play. Bum 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 bum. I cannot read that book. Not a word of it. I'm sure it's a wonderful book. That is definitely a witch. I think you should. And wow, her mother is gorgeous. Study your best. Like, yeah, sure, I was totally listening. Follow your dreams, daughter of mine. Oh my god, this girl's cute. And there we go. Our dream has been established. Let's go. Wow, that audible outward breath, whatever you call it. That's when she was set on her path. Her voice just sounded kind of familiar. I kind of want to look it up later. And then you became a witch. It's quite a blush. Wow, in history. I love her hair color. It's like right up my alley. Like my favorite anime hair color. That sort of silver. And that is just delicious. Wow, we even got wine. It is a special occasion, so the splendid meal makes sense. Yeah, I'd be enshrined by filthy casuals, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have like a witch shisho? Yeah, I definitely love her character design. She looks great. Like, solid 10 out of 10. Like, almost completely up my alley, design-wise, even like the blue eyes and stuff. Is this our witch shisho? She's gonna be interrupted somehow. Oh, that was rude. I was curious how she would be interrupted. I didn't think it would be a door in the face. I guess... So, I guess this isn't going well. I guess they don't approve of that. Wait, I kind of liked you. Well, how rude. If I was a witch, I would let you be my apprentice. If that makes you feel any better, which I'm sure it doesn't. Yeah, is there any witch that will help us? Deep in the woods, huh? She might be our one. Let's go check it out. just casually riding our broom. Don't ask me, but that does look like a witch's home. What are you doing? Are you dancing with bugs or butterflies? Well, butterflies are bugs, but one of the few tolerable kinds. And wow, that constellation space kind of internal design of the hat. Don't leave. She's probably a fine witch. Make a wonderful teacher. Yeah, she knows she doesn't have better options. Yeah, that's just so cool. Like, it's obviously has a strong magical feel to it. That starry design. Wow, she's well informed. Please don't slam a door on my face. Luckily, there is no door here, so it's already going better. All this jelly. How amazing she is. Very relatable. Well, she sure didn't come here to say hi. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would leave before you even asked. You already went that far. Oh. We finally got one. Run. Okay, hopefully this goes well. She seems pretty nice. The anime has a very nice art style. You're my apprentice, go do work for me. Really? Like, right now for breakfast? Wow, that was a drop. She is kind of a weird one, but I like her. I mean, you'd have to be a weird one to accept a witch that everybody else rejected, so. You know, if you don't mind, that's kind of what I'm here for. Have fun. Wonder why. That's gonna treat me like an errand boy, are you? Like, you will teach me stuff, right? Well, that's... Do I look like a chef to you? Well, that's useful. Interesting how we have the camera, like, on the other side of the pot. Kumo in the bath is just the worst. Man, you could tell a lot from that, just that expression, that pause before she responded. I wonder if she's just gonna eventually blow up at her teacher for not... For, like, basically treating her as a servant, not teaching her much in the way of magic. I'll take one too if the offer's open for anyone. You want it harder, I'll give it to you harder. I don't think she minded. Looks like a storm might be brewing. What if it's like Karate Kid where somehow she's been learning magic through this stuff. I doubt that's true. I'm sure there's plenty of magic to be learned. But I'm already making it. Yeah, she is definitely getting angry. She's bottling up a lot. What do you mean by that? A test? You didn't teach me anything. What about food? Okay, I don't know what we're here for, but let's do our test. Really nice waterfall. Oh, really? Just straight up battle. Yeah, no jokes here. We are ready. We are going at it. Oh, jeez. Oh. Wow, that was a cool looking magic spell. I kind of want her to teach me that. Jeez, wow. Man, they really are going all out for the effects of the magic. And she is not messing around either. She could straight up die here. Is that what you call trial by fire? Okay, looks like she's taking it seriously now. Let's go. 1v1 me. Oh. I really did not expect them to be able to... I did not expect the fights to be this high level. This is great. Oh, the studio's bringing their A game for this. Oof. Yeah, don't stay on the ground for too long. Oh, she's fast. Oh no. Just... This might be one of the best anime fight scenes I've seen in a while. Like, this is what you call a battle between witches. Get up. I know it's easier said than done, but... I can believe that. She doesn't seem to be holding back too much. Might be trying to take her down a peg, honestly. Because she was a little bit cocky earlier, you know? We're blocking it more or less successfully, but they just keep coming. Just such a casual look on her face, too. Definitely a power gap here. So she's probably in actuality holding back a lot. Well, I think we lost. Although that was to be expected. She is a teacher. Yeah, I think you may have traumatized her a bit here. I'd say she did pretty well for, you know, like, the beginner witch. Of course she's gonna be weaker than you, that's to be expected. Are you okay? Wow, that was quite the cry. Like, I never heard a cry quite like that in anime. Like that build up to it. You can tell she's not that accustomed to this. Well, I think it's working, but wow, you really burnt yourself. Oh, well, yeah, if all else fails, go for the hug. I mean, if I could have, I would have done it. She did get a little bit messed up in that fight. I'm sure you were having a little bit of fun. Can't lie to me. I don't think that's true. She was trying to make you feel better just now. And she is hugging you. No, she's not trying to trick you. Really? I didn't expect that. Okay. I mean, I get it. Wow. Wow. Straight up brag from the parents. Okay. Yeah. I'll just be taking this, though. Grudgingly. Italicized. Yeah, because she's serious about her goals. Oh? How is that a problem? I guess I kind of get what you're saying. Yeah, you could tell there was a few times when she wanted to. Give it a nice rainbow. Yeah, she was deliberately trying to piss you off this past month. Yeah, the very not the typical advice you get in Japanese culture. Still can't read that book. I'm glad she can, though. Some things never change. There you go. I'm pretty sure you asked for that at some point. You tell her.いいですよね. There we go. Much better dynamic now. This is nice. This is much more positive and pleasant than what we had before. Oh. As you do. As expected of our witch with stars in her hat. Oh. Okay, back to battle. Yeah, she can do it too. Ow. Oh. Did she just win? Yeah, I'm impressed. Really? Already? It's episode 1. Okay. But I don't really want you two to separate, though. Actually, really nice pendant. Is that what you call it? Huh. Not bad. That's a good point. I think it sounds alright. Because the stars in her hat. There you go. It's fine. And there we go. That's probably what that says. I knew my cat would eventually get that door open. This episode's almost over anyway. I still don't want to see them separate. But I guess that's life. Bye, Stardust Witch. I'll feed you in a minute, leave me alone. Yeah. Gonna miss her. Okay. This is my cat. But she is. I guess that's fair enough. Hello. That would never happen, don't be silly. Nobody would ever be good enough for his daughter. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Yeah, I got a hat right now. Always have a spare witch's hat. Yes? A diary? I was right. That's always a rare thing. I'm sure it will be a wonderful story. They might even make an anime based on it. He is still crying. So kind of like a prologue, first episode, really. I don't know. Okay, so I was wondering how long she was there, so it was 4 years. Wow. It must be pretty good by now. That was the first episode. So, this was a really good first episode, for sure. Now, the first episode overall does seem like a prologue, you know, because at the end of the episode, she finally became like a full-fledged witch, you know. She went through all that initial training and then got her personal witch teacher for like a few years, and she learned everything she had to learn, and her Shisho sensei teacher person went off on their own, and now it's time for her to go off on her own, you know, start her journey. Or Tabitabi, as they say, after she made some promises to her mother, of course, and got her backup hat and her diary and all that. But of course, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So this episode, yeah, we got to see the birth of her dream of becoming a witch, why she wanted to do so, and we got to see her pursue that, right? And right off the bat, a big part of her character was shown to us that she's very much a hard worker. If she has a goal, she does whatever she feels like she needs to achieve it, right? And eventually the show kind of showed a bit of a negative aspect of that, you know, where kind of just enduring things, you know, Guimarães is kind of like the norm for her, and maybe does a little bit too much of it, and that was kind of a lesson they try to show her later in the episode, right? So, and yeah, it definitely was a little bit rough seeing her get like rejected by so many witches. Like, it's not cool, you know, all of them just jealous of how wonderful and talented and successful she is. But she eventually found a witch that did not do that, although we later found out she was kind of bribed to do this, right? So that kind of changes it a little bit, but, you know, they still had a great bond between the two of them, so it's not like it ruins it or anything. But it does change it a little bit. And yeah, she found this Stardust witch, Fran, in the middle of the woods, because this was kind of like her last-ditch effort, like her last chance. And at this point, she wasn't too picky, and she actually was pretty surprised that she even agreed to teach her, because she had the door slammed in her face so many times. Like, initially, I thought for sure that first witch we saw was going to be like the one, but then she just slammed the door, and other people slammed the door too. And at that point, I knew it was going to be a struggle to find the right witch. But I knew she would eventually, because we wouldn't have a show if nobody, you know, taught her, right? So she found this Fran girl, and she begins her like internship, whatever, under her apprenticeship, I guess is the word you would use. And it's not great initially. Like, she doesn't teach her much. She makes her do all this stuff, you know, and it's just not ideal, you know. She came here to learn magic, and yet she's very much being treated like a slave, essentially, you know. And you can only really put up with that for so long. And in her case, she put up with it for a month before things finally changed. And we actually got a test, as she called it. Although I wouldn't really call that a test, though. It was more like a beating, you know. I mean, it had a purpose, right, to get her to realize some things. But it was a little bit rough to watch, because it was definitely a one-sided fight. Fran is obviously a much more experienced witch than Elaine is, even though Elaine's obviously quite talented. She's not bad. She's just not bad for her age, if that makes sense, right? A witch has been around for much longer, learned much more spells, has much more experience. It's just not going to go too well, right? And it didn't. But the fight itself is probably what surprised me the most in the episode. Like, they really high budget, a lot of effort, a lot of good animation, interesting fight choreography. Like, it really felt like a battle between witches, you know? Rocks being thrown around, lightning, energy blasts, fire, laser beams. Like, that was a really cool fight. Like, that was impressive. Like, that was way better than I ever expected from this show, considering it was like a journey, you know. I expected it to be a fairly relaxed show, you know, where girls maybe flying her broom from town to town, learning new things about people, about life. I don't know, something like that was in my head. But yeah, as far as magic goes, 10 out of 10. Obviously, I already commented on a character design being 10 out of 10, so far, plenty of 10 out of 10s in the episode. And yeah, Fran definitely felt pretty bad, you know, after what she did to Elaine, because it was kind of, you know, not the nicest thing in the world. Like, she obviously had a point, a purpose to do this that was meant to help her, but still, it looked like bullying from an outside perspective. Like, it was not pleasant at all for her. So it's still the kind of thing you feel bad about, even if you feel like you needed to do it for her own good. It is that kind of thing. And the crying from Elaine, that was something. Like, I didn't even know what she was doing at first. Like, like I don't think I've ever heard anime crying quite like that before. Like the way it was building up to the eventual, more typical sounding crying. Like she could hardly get the sound out. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like it actually concerned me a little bit. Like I was a little bit worried what if we maybe injured her a little bit too much, and she's just like needs serious medical attention. I didn't know what to think, really. I was just a little bit worried at first, and I was a little bit relieved when it was just regular crying, but, you know, I did enjoy Fran's attempt to cheer her up. You know, it's kind of like when you make a small child cry, you just do silly things to try to cheer them up. You know, then we eventually got to our hug, which was very, very nice, you know. That's what really convinced me that there was no real, like, malice here, you know, because at some point I was a little bit worried that she may have not been as great as I hoped she was. Like, maybe she really was just like those other witches, you know? Like, there was a time where I kind of thought that, but the hug pretty much cemented that she was not like that, right? The other witches would not have done that. That's what really made it clear that she is trying to help this girl. So, at that point, it became a pretty sweet, nice scene. And after we got to that hardship, we began a much more positive, beneficial, pleasant dynamic between the two of them. You know, a bit more even-footed, a bit more she's actually learning things, you know, having a good time, smiling, no more enduring it, you know. And after a few years, she got to be much, much better, where she can kind of, like, really 1v1 her. And Fran eventually knew she was ready, you know. She got her fancy badge. She became the Ashen Witch, I think the translation was. So yeah, not the most fancy name ever, but it's fine, you know, it's passable. But I'm sure we could have come up with something better if we really thought about it, but it's fine. It's fine. That's pretty much the slogan for that name. It's fine, don't worry about it. Then we had our final little scene with the parents, and she got all set up with her hat and the diary, and she's ready to set off, right? So that's what really made it feel like a prologue episode, you know, because at the end of the episode, she finally became a true witch and is finally able to start that journey. I mean, maybe you could call this episode part of the journey, depending on how you look at it, but it feels like it's really starting now, if that makes sense. And I'm pretty interested to see how her journey goes, who she ends up meeting. Will she make some nice friends? Will she battle some huge, dangerous monsters? Will she get married? Like that was brought up, but you know, probably not. I would imagine would not. I mean, somebody that's on a journey on the road a lot, they usually wouldn't get married, because then the person that married them would have to travel with them, or be long distance relationships. So usually you wouldn't do that. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But you never know. I guess she is extremely attractive, so there's always a chance for it. But yeah, man, that fight scene was something else. I kind of want to rewatch that again, honestly. I might do that after I finish this off. But yeah, very good first episode, for sure. Like, it delivered very well in almost every front that mattered. And, you know, I'm impressed with the episode. That's really overall what I can say about it. And this is for sure something that I'm going to continue reacting to, so hopefully you stick around for that. So, bye-bye. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki and Ryan for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.